Hey, 8th grade. So today in the back station, we're going to be looking at an exemplar paragraph to answer the research task from our benchmark. So if you can flip to the section that says Independent Station, first we're going to look back and see what was our research task prompt and what was it asking us to answer. So you have read 3 articles that each make an argument regarding the impact of sports on students. Write an essay in which you delineate and evaluate the argument made in each article, assessing whether specific claims are supported by sufficient reasons and evidence. Be sure to include evidence from all 3 articles in your response. So again, this is something we've worked with a lot. We know that our argument is talking about the impact of sports on students. We know that we are delineating, which means outlining and explaining, and evaluating the argument that the author makes, evaluating, telling whether or not it's strong. And we're also assessing whether our claims are supported by sufficient reasons and evidence, meaning is our author making a claim that has enough evidence, enough reasons, enough details that it's a strong argument. So what we're going to do is, if you take a look, we have a checklist here that's going to say all of the things that needed to happen in one body paragraph. So, for example, this is actually article number 2. It's called Sports Are More Important Than Ever by Tim O'Shea. If you remember this article, this is the article that talked about why sports are important for students, which is exactly what our argument should be about, impact of sports on students. So if you go through your checklist, each of these body paragraphs should include the title and author of the article, identify the author's argument in the article, meaning what does the author believe about the impact of sports on students? How does the author make that argument clear? What are the key details, the facts, or the examples that the author uses to support his or her argument? There should be at least 2 to 3 details to support what you identified as the argument. Evaluating the claim. Is the argument weak or strong? Why? And then again, evaluating what type of information does the author use? Things like facts, statistics, research. But saying that the author supports their argument using key details is not correct. That's what you're using to show what the author's argument is, not what the author uses. And then finally, there should be text evidence that explains how that evidence shows the claim or supports whether or not the claim is strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through an exemplar response together. And then you're going to do the checklist on your own. Does this exemplar have each of these things? And then answer some questions about it. In the article, Sports Are More Important Than Ever by Tim O'Shea, the author argues that sports have a positive effect on students' academics and health and should be a priority in schools. So right away, I'm going to underline this. This is the author's argument or claim about the impact of sports on students. Please annotate your paragraph while I annotate. So again, we should be going up to our checklist and saying not only did my author give us a the title and the author, so putting a check there, but they also gave us what is the author's argument. So 2 checks for X's. As the author argues that sports have a positive effect on students' academics and health and should be a priority in schools. Now what I need to see is, first of all, is that correct looking back at my article, and does my author continue to support that? The author claims that athletics can reduce stress, increase student achievement, and develop strong communities for students. In the text, O'Shea states, according to a 2013 report from the Institute of Medicine, physically active kids have more focus, are better problem solvers, and score higher on tests. This study shows the benefit of having sports in school and uses a research study to support O'Shea's claim. We have key details right here. We have text evidence, and we have an explanation of text evidence. So all of that should be getting X's in your checklist. Go ahead and say what X's can you give to your author. The author also believes that sports can have a positive effect on all students, not just athletes, because of the community and relationships that teams create. Another key detail. O'Shea makes a strong argument because he uses historical examples as well as multiple research studies to support his claim. That's the type of information our author uses. For example, the text states, studies show that schools with athletic programs tend to have lower dropout rates. O'Shea uses this to support his arguments that sports benefit students in many ways and are important to have in schools. So again, we have another piece of text evidence and an explanation that connects to why his argument is strong. So what I want you to do is go through your checklist and finish crossing off and annotating for these things, and then you're going to answer these questions. According to this paragraph, what is O'Shea's claim? Underline the key details the author uses to support O'Shea's claim. And is this analysis strong? Why or why not? So did this author of this paragraph do a good job of analyzing our article? So your job now is to answer these 3 questions and complete your checklist. If you finish early, go back to your paragraph and see what you can do to make it stronger.